You feel that, 49er fans? That's the feeling of zero quarterback controversy heading into an offseason for the San Francisco 49ers. When was the last time that we could have an offseason and do content and not talk about who's going to be the starting quarterback for the 49ers? It's been a while. It's been a while. And you guys know it was exhausting, very tiresome, very contentious, very negative. So to be in this spot where the 49ers have their quarterback, Brock Purdy, we've now heard from Jed York, Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch since the season has ended. Brock Purdy is QB1. It's not up for debate. There's no, we've got to wait and see how he comes back from the cert. No, that's done. We know he's the guy, and it feels so good. But knowing that he's the guy, there are still people who doubt him. There are still people who question if he's the guy. We've even heard conversations about people potentially being like, well, what about this guy being the 49ers quarterback next year? It's like, guys, just enjoy what you have. And Steve Weish of the NFL Network sat down with Kyle Shanahan and talked about this process and talked about these things. And I like what Kyle had to say. Take a listen to Kyle Shanahan on quarterback one, Brock Purdy, and why so much doubt still persists about a guy who's done nothing but show up and show out and exceed expectations to the fullest extent. Take a look at 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan right here.
Yet Brock Purdy stands alone, plays in the Super Bowl in just his second season. Shouldn't he be more celebrated? I mean, as just kind of the standard quarterback when you see all these other guys drafted ahead of him, all of a sudden now kind of lost in the shuffle?
I mean, it shows how hard it is to play quarterback in this league. I mean, there's 32 teams, and there's definitely not 32 guys. And even when you do have those the pressure, like, for a guy to do it over and over, week in and week out, and it's such a team game. It's dependent on so many different aspects, but the pressure is always on that guy, and each week. And even when Brock, who's been unbelievable in these 2 years, getting us to the NFC Championship, getting us to the Super Bowl, and when you do that, just the standard changes. So right when people see you're in that club, then they're going to try to see where in that club you are, and it really never stops. You know, there's the pressure that is on those guys. That's why it's one of the most high-paid positions in the league, or definitely the most high-paid position, because they got to earn it, and they do earn it. But Brock's done that these last 2 years. He's been unbelievable. He's done it week in and week out. He's come back from a really tough injury in his first year, had a hell of a year this year. Really hasn't had an offseason yet with us. The first offseason, he was battling to be our third-string quarterback and make the team. Last year in the offseason, he didn't get a throw until training camp. So I'm just pumped. He got married here a couple weeks ago.
Right.
So he's going to come back a full man and healthy and ready to attack this offseason. And I'm pumped to coach him.
And just with it, him having a full offseason with you, how do you think that's going to help him graduate?
I mean, I think it's just everything's about repetition. I mean, you can learn it right away. It's about going through it. And Brock's gone through a lot in 2 years in these games, so that's been great for him. But the way you get better is doing it over and over in practice and just drilling it, and it's all about getting those 10,000 reps. And he spent it all last year knowing what he had to do, but he was just focusing to get his arm healthy. Now he can go into this offseason knowing what he has to do, but training his footwork, training his arm, training his mind, just getting in the reps, hopefully in OTAs. You never know how those go, but hopefully we can have a good OTAs, get him that experience. He'll start throwing with the guys here in phase 1 and 2, and you get away for 40 days and you come in, and training camp's right around the corner.
I definitely understand what Kyle is talking about when he says, it's the quarterback position. It's the most highly scrutinized position in all of sports. And on top of that, they get paid the most as well. So it kind of comes with the territory. But I think we all know, and we know Brock is not your prototypical looking quarterback. And that's really what it comes down to. All the Coles Cash jokes, how he dresses, how he looks. Even when we posted the clip of him talking to the women's basketball team in the locker room, everyone's calling him a youth pastor. Like, that's just, he doesn't have the look of being a prototypical quarterback. One, but we understand that's not what being a quarterback is measured off of. It's measured how you perform, you play, and you lead. And Brock has proven to be exactly uh, just great at all of those things. So Kyle Shanahan spoke on that. He also spoke about, the full off season for Brock heading in. No, again, I don't even think it was talked about enough because the 49ers went into training camp with Sam Darnold and Trey Lance, and it was hyper focused on this quarterback competition and or just trying to manifest a quarterback competition, because everything that we've learned is the real competition was between Brock Purdy and Sam Darnold. And again, it was a competition just because they didn't know how Brock was going to bounce back, where he was going to be. Sam Darnold said himself that he was told his best chance to win the quarterback job was in preseason. And that didn't happen because Brock came in and did his job. He did his thing. And he held it down. He earned that right. And so, how much of a quarterback competition was it? Who knows? But there's always competition. This is sports. So I don't expect anything less. And, of course, what we've seen from the Niners, they're going to hedge a little bit. And they've had success doing that. So, all that being considered, that's not the tone of this offseason. This offseason, Brock, again, Kyle talked about him getting married. Like Brock's wife just posted them. They're in Big Sur right now, one of my favorite places to go to in the entire world. Went to Big Sur earlier this year with my family during one of the bye weeks. He's living life. He's in a good spot and he's chilling. And again, the biggest takeaway from all of this is he can take a break from football. And I think fans in general just believe that players got to be on all the time. And I think, just like anything in life, you need balance, like work-life balance. And for these guys at this level, this is work. They might love the game, but it doesn't change the fact that it's still a work. It's still work. It's still a job. It's a paycheck. Um, and after grinding for 20 years, 25 years, it can become work. I know we look at it as an escape for entertainment, but the fact being that Brock can step away, not worry about his rehab, not worry about his elbow, not worry about winning the starting job and securing the starting job, I should say. That's great. This is great for him. That is great for him. It's great for this team. It's great for how they build upon what he was able to do this next year. So Brock continues to be and show that he's quarterback one. It's locked in. There's no debate. Don't even try. Love Joshua Dobbs, quarterback two, and Brandon Allen, probably quarterback three. But at the end of the day, Brock, Kyle, John, Jed, all aligned. Brock's the guy, and Brock's likely going to get paid for it as well. So it's a good spot to be in as a 49er fan. How does it feel to, one, listen to what Kyle Shanahan had to say about the situation, hear what John Lynch and Jed York have said about it, and on top of that, just know there's no quarterback controversy heading into training camp. Let me know how you're feeling about all this in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.